So I just watched a video from this guy I just discovered on YouTube. His name is Large Man Abroad. Go check him out. Check out his channel. In this video, he was talking about houses, older houses. I think he was like talking like 1950 style houses compared, even maybe 60s. I don't know, but let's say like older 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, compared to now, compared to the houses that we have now. And he makes a lot of good points. And it got me thinking. And the reason why it got me thinking and why I wanted to hop on here is because of the house that I built. It's a new house. This is a new house. This was just built last year. But this is, as you can see, a log home. This is 8 by 8, 8-inch by 8-inch square hemlock with rigid foam in between and chinking. Okay. So in this scenario here that I have, my exterior is my interior, is my finishing. So it's not covered. What you see on the outside is what you see on the inside. My structure is my finish, that whole thing. Very simple, very straightforward. If anything is going to go wrong, I'm going to see it. Nothing's hidden in behind anything. So I'm going to see it right away. So this goes to what Large Man Abroad was speaking about, and we don't build our houses like we used to anymore. You know, we don't use materials like these houses. Like this is built in the same way, even though it's a new house. It was built in the same way as they built them 200 years ago, and they're still standing. Fingers crossed that this one will do the same. But compared to these new builds, and I guess specifically what I want to touch on is we have created an industry of problem solving with homes. So the latest green board, the latest pink board, the latest blue tape, the latest black tape, the latest stretchy tape, the latest blah, 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 to stop air, to stop water, stop this, to stop that. We've created a whole industry to address problems that apparently are plaguing the homes that we're building today. Whereas before, well, let me just say this. If we designed our homes from the drawing board with a more practical sense in mind instead of an aesthetic sense in mind, a lot of this industry would be wiped out. And so what do I mean by that is my home in particular has a 4-foot overhang, front, back, side, 4 feet overhang. When it snows or when you see it rain and there's a water, like a line around my house of where snow does not reach, of where water does not reach. So the body of my house, right down to the ground, a few feet around, never gets wet. It never gets wet. And the most driving of driving rains, the biggest snowstorms that we have, I've never seen precipitation of any sort cover or hit the outside walls or from the base of the house out about 3 feet or so. No water. Now, does everyone want a 4-foot overhang around their house? No, they don't. Because some people think that looks like a top hat, looks like a mushroom. Okay. Maybe mine does to some people, but it works. It does what it's supposed to do. The house is designed the way it's supposed to be. And like I said, if I ever do see anything, or if there ever is an issue, I will see it. I will see my walls because there's nothing covering them. There's nothing. It's not hidden behind a drywall, an insulation, a vinyl siding, a foam, then a tie par, and it's not hidden. I'm not hidden behind layers of everything. So, am I the most energy efficient house on the block? Fuck no, I'm not. I'm not. But that wasn't my goal. Structural, practical was my goal. And as far as energy efficiency is concerned, I don't crank my heat any more than the guy who has, 10 inches thick of fucking foam around his house. I don't crank it anymore. You know what I do if I get chilly? I put on a fucking sweater. I throw on a wool blanket. I haven't really had that problem because I think these logs do a great job of absorbing and releasing heat. What do they call it? That thermal, I don't know. It's some thermal reaction that happens with these logs that absorb and release. And I find it very comfortable here regardless. Do I have a couple drafts here and there? Yeah, yeah, I do. I mean, it's a fucking log home. It's not engineered, some German fucking engineering, like fucking everything's like, I have to put sealer here, and it's going to be an ongoing thing that I'm going to have to do to seal up a draft here and there when I find them. The more I live here, but the point is that, I think I think about a lot of things. Okay, I think about the motorcycle industry, and I think about, because I ride a bike, and I think about the car industry, and I think about then the home industry. There's an industry within the industry. So when you're in industry, if you're into motorcycling, there's a whole industry of shit that people want to sell you to go along with your motorcycle. If you're into skiing, there's a whole industry of shit that people want to sell you to go along with the sport that you choose. And it's the same thing with homes. If you're in construction, there's a whole industry of shit that people want to sell you. You have the latest and greatest, the newest and truest. We're going to solve this problem. We know that when we invented this fucking thing 5 years ago, it created this problem, but now we have a new fucking solution to that fucking problem. You know what I mean? And it kind of just seems like this is what we're fucking doing, when we need to take a step back and think about what we're building and why. That's the way I look at it. What are we building and why? I think we've kind of lost our way when it comes to that. A home was a home. It was a place to keep dry. It was a place to keep warm. It had practical aspects of the home that you needed as a family. And it was designed and built in such a way that it would provide what you. So I live in a small town, and a lot of the homes in the town are 100 years old, like, 90, 80, 70 years old. And they're not, wow, showstopper, whoa, front of the magazine. They're not anything like that. People up here in a rural area, back then when they built their homes, they built what they fucking needed. And you know what? They're still standing today. Are a lot of these new homes that we're seeing today again, and this is what the man abroad was talking about. Are we going to see them standing 80, 90 years? Or like some of these old log homes that are around North America, 200 years? Are we going to see that? I doubt it. Despite all the latest and greatest technological building science that they're putting in, building science, why don't you fucking make a roof line where the fucking water doesn't come onto your fucking house? How is that for fucking science? But anyways, yeah, I just want to say shout out to that guy, because not enough people are fucking talking about it, but because we're so enamored with the latest green board, the latest blue tape, the latest fucking black stretchy fucking thing that we can put around our fucking window. Ooh, wow, look at that. We're all fucking, and sometimes with just practical forethought, it's I mean, I get it. It's the whole thing between form and function, right? For me, function's more important than form. 100%. 100%. And I think if we, when it comes to stuff like this, if people took more of that attitude where form comes before function, I don't know, man. I think we'd have a lot of less stressful homeowners and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying that my home is perfect, that my home is not going to have issues. Fingers crossed, I hope not. But you know what? These things happen. But I guess it comes down to how will I be able to address them if they do happen, right? Like I said, I can see everything. Nothing's hidden. So I feel like I'm a little bit ahead of the game that way. Okay, I will say that. So I am a little bit confident in that. These homes aren't perfect. I understand. No home is. Even the old ones. And I think that's the point, is that we're chasing perfection where perfection will never be found. And we're upping the ante every time. Of energy efficiency, air movement, this and that. We're coming into these unachievable realms. And I think if we were to just scale it back and accept that, you know, these buildings, despite building science, will only be so much, and we need to deal with them as they are in a certain level, and try to make it as practical as possible to deal with them. That's the key, I think. Having them be as practical as possible to deal with. The simpler design is usually the best design, right? I mean, and I think we've gone beyond simple. I think we've added 20 fucking steps to create a little, to solve a little problem that I think we discovered down the road that, oh, well, that's a little bit of a bigger problem now because we've added all these fucking steps to it. So, anyways, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know what you guys think about these new homes compared to old homes. Are new homes better than old homes? Are old log cabins better than the new? Is there such thing as building science, and are we achieving what this building science claims it's achieving? Are we doing that? I want to know.